Hi, fellow and prospective traders. Welcome to Mentoring for Success, the AJT way. I am going to share with you my perspective on mentoring and how I think it can help you achieve your goals here in trading. It's very important. I'm not going to share anything that I read. This is all about me and my journey and what I believe mentoring to be and how it can help you. Now, the contents for this webinar is, I'm going to tell you who I am. We're going to talk about mentoring versus teaching, education versus training. We're going to talk about the stages of mentoring, how it actually works, what I would need from you as a mentee, and how to schedule sessions with me. And of course, how to sign up if you want to join in the mentoring program. So, who am I? I'm Ed, also known as the Average Joe Trader. I'm just an average, everyday guy that started this journey into trading with practically nothing. The Average Joe name, some of you may have seen the Vince Vaughn movie Dodgeball and Average Joe's Gym. So, I kind of related to Vince Vaughn in that movie, and I kind of adopted Average Joe, and that's where the name came from. So, no, my name is not Joe, it's Ed, but I'm just an average Joe. So, there you go. I was a classroom or a high school classroom teacher for 18 years. I'm a mechanical engineer. I specialized in automotive motorsports engineering, like designing chassis, different components, things like that. I actually worked on, well, if you're into drag racing, you'll know what I'm talking about. The very first electronic clutch management system, I got to work on that. And the first delay box, which kind of was a spin-off from that. So, had some fun doing that, but fun wasn't paying the bills. Floating from paycheck to paycheck, out just to make sure my family had needs to be taken care of. So when I'm talking about floating, I'm talking about before my check hits the bank, it's already spent. Okay, so we were floating. I would go to the store, to the grocery store, write a check $50 over what my grocery bill was, just to get some cash that I didn't even have yet. I could do it on a Tuesday, check would be in the bank Thursday, and everything would work out. It was crazy. It's funny to think about it now, how I had to do it. But I had to. That's how, I had to make ends meet and make sure my kids got everything they needed and everything. But from middle to high school, I've always had an interest in the markets. Now, some of you, I don't think they do home ec anymore, but back in the day, we had home ec. Part of it was, learning about finances and stuff, and we would have competitions, or I guess that's what you could call it, exercise where we would play the stock market. And so middle school I won, high school I won. So I thought I was really good. But of course, when you tell the guidance counselor to what you wanted to do, you lose all your damn money. That's the first thing they would say. You lose all your damn money. You need to do something where you can get a steady paycheck. My parents the same way. But when I got older, I was on my own in 1999. I opened up my Ameritrade account, my very first brokerage account, and quickly found out that it was more to than trading the stock market than I remember. And that kind of put me on my heels because I didn't have a whole lot of money going forward. I was just starting out, just got married, just had my daughter was just born. So, it was kind of tough. But, fast forward to December of 2012, I received a $1,500 bonus. Instead of buying a Christmas present or Christmas presents for everybody, which would have been great because I never had that much money at one time. I was up late one night and I saw this commercial about penny stock day trading education. I saw this fool flapping his arms on TV and all that good stuff. And so I thought it was a good thing to do. And I was like, hey, I'm good at this. So I spent the better part of that Christmas break, researching it, looking at what this guy had out there and all that. So I reactivated my Ameritrade account, which by then it was TD Ameritrade. And unfortunately, at that point, I learned about the PDT rule and was kind of dejected for a minute. But then I learned about SureTrader from this guy. And, I was off and running. So after then, I traded in small accounts between, 1,500 and 5K. There was a time where I would start every month with 5K and then wire out. And that's how I was kind of making my money. I was putting some in another account. Once I had enough to open up IB and swing trade a little bit, I did that. But it was a growing process. And there were a lot of things that I needed that just weren't out there. And that's what prompted me to start Average Joe Trading and do things the way I do. I wanted so bad to watch somebody actually take trades. I got frustrated watching somebody talk about a dead chart, that they did this, they did that, and all of that. I got really frustrated with it. And I just couldn't find it. And I was like, how can you mentor somebody and you can't demonstrate what you're teaching? It's just like the regular high school teachers that drove me crazy. They didn't immerse themselves in what they taught. They just regurgitated it out of a book and expected people to get it. It doesn't work that way. Learning does not work that way. So I still trade live every day in my community in what I still call a small account. It is above PDT, but I'm not trading with 100 grand or 75 grand or whatever. I try to start every month between 35 and 40. I mean, you could start with 30, you could start with 28. It doesn't matter. Some of my traders that I work with, they're in CMEG, which is a big upgrade from what SureTrader used to be, but it's an offshore account. You can day trade freely in it if you're a U.S. citizen, so everything kind of works out. But I still trade with the small account mindset, the growth account mindset, because at this point, unless we're multimillionaires, we're consistently trying to grow our account. That's where we're just making money. So the focus is on helping everybody actually grow their account. So the purpose behind my mentoring and my teaching is that I want to share with you the truth. My truth. The truth about trading. That's the only way you could be saved from becoming a negative statistic. Okay, that's the only way. So, my vision in everything that I'm doing is to change the way individual retail traders view and engage the market. all of the education out there, everything that we're taught is setting us up to be the mark. And if you don't understand what a mark is, we're the people that assassins, take out. We're the person that the assassin is looking for, and that's all we are in the market. We're marks. These guys are looking for us, and they're there to take us out. If we view the market the way they do, if we view it as an assassin versus a mark, we have the right vision. So, that's what I want to do, is change the way we as retail traders view the market. These are my core values. Preparation is a key to success. It's a big part of mentoring, is helping you to be prepared for your trading day and for anything that comes your way in the market. The application of knowledge is power. It's not just about knowing it, it's being able to apply it. So that's why I say that you can't get but so far reading a book or watching a video. It's about actually taking that knowledge and applying it to the market so that you can make money. All right, screen time. Screen time, there is no substitute. You can't substitute screen time. There's no way to do it. Believe me, if I could crack your skull open and pour screen time in it, I'll sell it to you. But you can't. You've got to put in the work. You owe you. Nobody owes you a damn thing. You owe yourself. If you're going to do this, you owe yourself to do everything you can to be successful. Hold yourself accountable. That's part of you owing yourself and having no excuses. No, there's no excuse as to why you can't be successful. Not having enough capital, no excuse. You can start learning and understanding and putting yourself in a position to be successful. But you don't have to have unlimited capital to do that. In my mission statement, the Average Joe Trading Mentoring and Training Community finds traders wherever they are in their journey. Doesn't matter whether you're just beginning or whether you've been trading for 5 years and can't find your way. I'm going to find you wherever you are and empower you to effect change in yourself and your trading process to ensure your profitability and longevity. That is my charge. Okay, that's my mission statement. So let's talk about mentoring versus teaching. Okay, teaching is all about knowledge. Remember the knowledge I was telling you about? Teaching is all about that knowledge. Okay? So the role of a teacher is to share that knowledge through instruction and explanation. In the traditional sense, teaching involves a formal lesson or lessons on a subject. And teachers usually have a lesson plan. Like we have, being a classroom teacher, we had a curriculum we had to follow given to us by the state, specific lessons. Everything was laid out, everything was formal. But the focus wasn't on application of the knowledge. It's just about learning it and taking it, learning it, and being able to take a written test showing that you retained it. I mean, that's it. Mentoring is all about the experience of applying that knowledge. It's more informal, and when you're working with the mentor, you have more of a relationship. Okay, a mentor will act as an advisor and sharing knowledge based on their actual experiences, not based on what they read in the book, not based on what other people say. It's based on their experience. And that's why a mentor is so powerful in this. Okay, there's more sharing between the mentor and the mentee as we as mentors strive to help you guys grow and become your own trader, your own person in trading. So, in other words, teaching focuses on the how, mentoring focuses on the why. Because think about it, before you can write a novel or book, you must master the mechanics, from the fundamentals of grammar and style to how to create a compelling story arc. Okay, you can't just come and start writing and expect it to be a bestseller. It just doesn't work that way. So before you could design a bridge or, a big skyscraper, you must understand how to calculate equations. You got to understand a lot of math. I'm not going to even specify all the math that you have to. You have to understand metallurgy. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to know, knowledge, before you can actually start putting it into practice. That requires teaching. That's where the teaching comes in. Mentoring, on the other hand, focuses more on applying that knowledge and putting it into practice. Not just how to do something, but why. Why do we need to do it? Okay, mentors impart their wisdom, practical insight, and creativity to encourage, learners to express and develop their own skills. It's all about helping somebody grow into their own. That's what it's about. Teachers can be mentors, and mentors can be teachers. Both have an important and necessary place in education. A teacher's first priority may be instruction, but they can be creative and interactive in their approach. They recognize and foster individuality, creativity, and become mentors in their own right. Those are the teachers that are the most effective in a person's life. Now, I still teach the certification classes for new teachers coming in, out of the industry, coming into the classroom to teach our students. I still teach those classes. This is a big part of what I try to develop in these new teachers, is to get them to understand you need to be a mentor as well. You need to bring your individuality, your creativity into this. And that's what I try to do with you guys every day. Every day that I'm working with you as your mentor, that's my goal. That's a priority. Okay. Now, it's on personal development, but you as the mentee, you do need the knowledge. You do have to have those know-how skills. So we're teaching you the skills, but I'm teaching you personal development through not only me sharing with you how to do something, but demonstrating it for you right here in the chat room live every day. How to deal with issues, how to deal with different problems, things that come your way. I'm working with you on all of that. So mentoring will always have an instructional component. So as a student, you may ask yourself, do you need a teacher or a mentor? Really, you need both. You need both to survive. And that's why I try to be both. I try to teach you and give you the knowledge, and then I turn around and demonstrate it to you every day that I'm actually doing what I'm teaching. So another big question or debate that we have in the education industry is education versus training. Somebody that's educated, again, You've got education based on knowledge. A teacher imparted their knowledge into you. So now you're educated. But can you use that education? That's the $1,000,000 question. Can you use that education? All right. Train. If somebody's trained, they're fit, they're qualified or proficient in a specific discipline, they're able to actually take that education and put it into practice. And they're good at it. Okay, that's the thing. So generally, the term training implies the act of imparting a special skill or behavior in a person. It's not exactly the same as education, which is a process of systematic learning. But, that education helps you develop a sense of judgment and reasoning. But if you can't do nothing with it, it's useless. So you got to be able to actually use the education that you get. And that's where training comes into place. That's where training is a big part of mentoring. So can education alone produce a successful trader? No. Can training alone produce a successful trader? Nope. Education and training are so closely intertwined that throughout the time of you growing and learning, they're going to intermingle. And the more you train, the more you're going to learn. Okay, your learning is going to reach a plateau until you start actually putting these things into practice. And then things will start to make sense. But nevertheless, these two terms are different in their nature and orientation. Thus, a person who is trained is said to have had some education, and thus there is no training without education. So I hope that makes sense to you. But can you educate yourself? Absolutely. It requires a willingness to learn, the self-discipline to stay focused, and a level of interest that exceeds the norm. You need to be curious. You got to read and watch things that you don't know anything about. You need to challenge yourself. You learn with other people. Okay, but I always say in trading, there is a limit to how much education you seek. You can learn too much to where you will not be able to get out of the starting gate, because you'll be thinking and worrying about so much garbage that you will never be able to take a trade. And we don't want to see that. So what helps us determine how much education is enough? Training. That's why I'm a big advocate of teaching you just what you need to know to get going. And then once you get in it and you start training and learning, you will know exactly what you need in order to get to the next level. So what do you need to help you do that? That's where your mentor comes in. Somebody that's been there, done that. They could tell you, look, this is where you're heading. These are the things that's going to be important to your trading. And this is what we want to focus on right now. So can you train yourself? Absolutely not. Training refers to the acquisition of knowledge with the intent to develop a specific skill and or behavior. If you have no idea how to do it, how are you going to train yourself? You can watch a YouTube video and copy what they're doing. But have you actually trained yourself? Do you have the knowledge that you need in order to be proficient at it? You might have, there's a lot of people that work on their cars. They watch a YouTube video, then they apply what they've learned, and they go to work on their cars. Yeah, they might have achieved success in doing what they set out to do, but are they proficient at it? Can they go out and do it over and over and over again and get the results they want? Probably not. You know, you're gonna have to get some type of more formal training in order to be able to do that. But you know, its purpose is to teach you how to apply that education you receive. Training is a vessel by which education is put into action. Training is meant to teach knowledge, skill, or attitude that can be immediately understood and implemented. Training is learning by doing. That's exactly what we do in this community. That's why it is a mentoring and training community, because that's what the focus is on. So we've got some stages of mentoring, and you know, these are things that you want to pay attention to, because as you grow, you're gonna want to know where you are in these stages of mentoring. You know, there's the initiation stage, and that's when we enter into a mentoring relationship. That means you accept me as your teacher and mentor. I accept you as a mentee. Okay, just because you pay money and you join the program doesn't mean I'm going to accept you down the road. Now, I've had to say, look, if you're not going to do this, best thing is for us to do is, let me give you back what you didn't use up, and we go our separate ways. It's my job to be 100% honest with you, so that you don't get yourself in a position that can destroy you and your family down the road. So in this stage, we do have to accept one another as who we are. Then there's a cultivation stage, and this is the primary stage of learning and development. This is where I would teach you the valuable lessons gained from my experience and through my expertise. And by you being able to watch me execute every day, live and in color, then you're able to gain that valuable information. Okay, then we have the separation stage. This is when you've got to the point where I can't hold you back anymore. You've learned everything you need to learn. You are off and running. You're growing into your own. And there's not a whole lot left I can teach you. So you're off. And think of that as a parent seeing their child off into the world. That they've spent all of this time talking and working with their child, and growing all these years, and now it's time for them to say goodbye. That's what it's like. And then there's a redefinition stage. Sometimes both the mentor and mentee recognize that their relationship can continue, but it's not going to be the same. We'll be colleagues, so to speak. We're kind of be equal, so we'll be sharing information as colleagues, as equals. And that's the redefinition stage. It'll be more of a professional relationship. And man, that is the most rewarding. Okay, to me, that's the most rewarding. But these are the stages that we go through in mentoring. So how this mentoring works for us, and the way I see it, is we build a relationship as me being a mentor, you being a mentee. And the reason why I said the redefinition stage in that phase is the most powerful and the most important for me is that it can last a lifetime. And it can enhance both of our lives and our careers throughout the rest of our life. That's why this is so important to me. So, mentoring is also based on a choice. Remember I said we each have to choose to be who we are to one another. The mentee benefits and responsibilities. This is what you get out of it. To get the most out of a mentoring relationship, you should know what you would like to achieve and communicate this with your mentor. That's why in our first meeting, I'm asking you, what are you looking for? What do you want? What do you feel is the most important thing to you right now that you need to fix? These are the things I need to know. Together, then we can, build a program and be able to track the process, your progress. I'm to be used as your sounding board for different ideas, things that challenge you, things that may upset you. That's what I'm here for. And I take what I've learned, the skills that I've learned, the experience that I've had going through all of these storms. This is what I'm going to relay to you. This is what I'm going to help you build your trading career around and help you navigate these things so you don't have to stay in the storm as long as I had to stay in the storm. All of this is very, very important. So this is me. I have to have certain responsibilities too. Okay, I have to have those. So I have to be strong in my communication and listening skills. I need to be able to act as a role model, advisor, critic, and consultant. But I have to be tactful with that. I can't come up to you and say, man, you're just a piece of garbage. I don't know what's wrong with you. Why can't you get this? Why can't you get that? No. That doesn't work. There is tact that has to go to it. And I don't care if I think you're the dumbest person on the face of the earth. You can achieve a level of success that you would be proud of. Okay? I don't care where you are. You can do it. And I proved that to myself time and time again, working with my students. I proved it over and over and over again. So, excuse me. I know it could be done. Mentors should support and challenge their mentees. Give them fair, considered feedback on their performance. It's essential that they're realistic about how much time they can commit to the relationship, and a mentor must be impartial. Okay, I have to exude all of these things. So I have responsibilities as well. All right, everyone has different goals and needs when it comes to trading the markets. You may be interested to make money consistently to create a living, or you may just want to make extra money as you build your retirement. There's a lot of things you could do with this. The key is you have to be honest with yourself first. When we first meet and I'm asking you these questions, I'm looking for honest answers. What your weaknesses are. What do you feel your strengths are? These things are critically important into the process. So we do have our initial meeting. I've already explained in this the purpose of the mentoring relationship. I always recommend you go back and watch this before we get started. I talk about the format of the meetings and how they'll work, and this really depends on what we're going to be working on. The format and everything has to do with, what we're going to be working on. What I'm gonna commit to, and what's expected from you. That's what it's all about. There are things that you're gonna have to do that I'm gonna expect from you in order for us to have this relationship. So, what happens during mentor sessions? It really depends on what we're working on, but we can review trading experiences. Go over your trades. I do have a trader view account. You guys can invite me to be a mentor so I could see your trades, and you could tell me on any given day, hey, can you go in and take a look at this day? Look at what I did this day. But we could do that outside of the meetings. We could do it inside of the meetings. I provide feedback. If I see strengths and things that you're doing good, I'm going to tell you and reiterate that. If there are things that I feel you need improvement on, I'm going to share that with you. We're going to talk about different options going forward. What you can do to help, put yourself in a better position. Whatever it takes. Whatever areas I think we need more focus on, we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to set targets or goals for our future meetings. So that's basically what happens in the mentor sessions. It's not written in stone. Remember, these sessions take on a life of their own. They're intimate and they're focused on the individual. Anybody that comes in with a curriculum for a mentoring session is not a mentoring session. It's a teaching session. And that's not what we want to do in a mentoring space. All right, so again, we will identify when it reaches a natural end. You'll agree, we both will agree that, hey, you're at the point where it's time for you to branch out and start, taking a little bit more responsibility. We're going to talk about the next steps. Maybe if there's another mentor, let's say you want to go into options. I'm not an options trader. So I can't mentor you in options, right? How could I do that if I don't trade options? So you're going to have to find somebody that can help you with the direction that you want to go. Self-reflection and review of the effectiveness of the relationship. So if I sucked as a mentor and I didn't give you what you need, then I want you to tell me so that I can get better and I can help other people throughout the process. So all of this is very, very important. We not only share our charts, but we share our reflections in our journals. Knowing exactly what you thought when you were thinking it in the middle of a trade, it's invaluable information. That's why I have this model and I have it laid out in a sheet for you that you could use and fill out. Some people just type it out. Some people use videos to do it. However you do it, you want to go through this reflection cycle. It's what I used in teaching. It worked wonders for me in my teaching career. So, I'm thinking this will really help you guys as you go forward. Hold on 1 second. Yes, it is being recorded. All right, so let me be your mentor. If you think I can help you, let me be your mentor. But guess what? You have to choose me. You have to choose me. You have to think that I can be that person. And, when you do, I've got 3 different levels. If you just want 1 hour to kind of figure out if this will work, if you want to move on, you could do the hour. And then if you want to move up to the 12 hours, then we'll subtract the 150 from the 599 and you just pay the difference. So you did not lose out on that 1 hour that we met. The 3 hours, most of the people who are a lot more advanced will choose 3 hours because they really don't need to know a lot of the basics. They've got it down. They're just trying to get their head straight. They're trying to find or figure out a specific problem. And that's where the 3 hours comes in, and it works really good. The 12 hours, if you really need help and you've got multiple issues, the 12 hours is where we need to go. But you get a bigger discount the more hours that you choose. Because for me, if you choose 12 hours, you're fully committed. So I'm going to commit to you. And by reducing the price, I'm committing to you. Because I'm going to tell you, and I'm not being, big-headed or pig-headed or whatever, my time is valuable. It's worth a hell of a lot more than what you're paying. So by reducing it, I'm committing to you. I'm giving of myself. So, take that under consideration. So you can email me if you have any questions, ed@averagejoetrader.com. But once you choose and you pay the invoice, you'll get a welcome email link to the scheduler. Our sessions are on Zoom, unless you prefer something else. Zoom usually works pretty good. We don't have to, have the video going because we'll share charts. We'll share our screen, which kind of negates the video anyway. But I like Zoom because it's a platform that allows us to share, and the resolution is a hell of a lot better than what's in the chat room right now, which I am working on. But everything works good. So prior to your first session, actually when you sign up, it automatically gives you the Zoom meeting info. So I've got that set up now. That's one of the upgrades that I've made. But right now, only right now, I don't know how long this is going to be. I've got some other things in the works that's going to actually take more work off of me and allow me just to focus on trading and teaching, which is what I want to do. But right now, you get lifetime access to the room when you do a mentoring package. That's the way it is now. Very soon, it may be separated, where mentoring will be separated from the membership in the community. So you guys that are in now, you're locked in, you're good to go. But people that aren't are probably going to miss out. I don't know how soon things are going to be finalized. If they'll be finalized, we're still working on that. So if it does, that's going to change. Nothing will change for you guys. Absolutely nothing. It'll just free me up to where I have more time to do the things I need to do and to take care of you guys. All right. So, again, any questions? This wraps it up. But any questions, email me, ed@averagejoetrader.com. I'll be more than happy to answer them. But I'm ready when you are. So let's get to work.